الإخوة والأخوات، مرحبا بكم إلى درس اللغة العربية لغة الجنة. Assalamu alaikum dear viewers and welcome to our Learn Arabic show. Right, so in our previous session we had discussed about Kana and her sisters, and we discussed them in all tenses. We started off with fi'lul madi, then went to fi'lul mudari, then went to fi'lul We looked at examples as well, and I hope you try to do a bit more revision on these kana and wa akhawatuha, and of course doing your own exercises. Right, so today we are going to discuss about another set of sisters, and this is inna wa akhawatuha. Meaning Inna and her sisters. Okay, now Inna, it is a nasib. Okay, it is a nasib. A nasib emphasizing preposition. Emphasizing preposition, and it comes before a mubtada. Before mubtada. And before a khabar. You all know what mubtada is, you all know what khabar is. It comes before the subject and it comes before the predicate. So this is inna, and of course it's an emphasizing preposition, because when you say inna, you're saying indeed, you're emphasizing that this fact is true. So inna is a sort of and it's a nasib emphasizing preposition which comes before a mubtada and khabar. Now inna also has her sisters, and of course we will be looking at all these particles of inna, and all these particles of inna we call them huruful mushabbaha, huruful mushabbahatu bil fi'l. Right? So we call them huruful mushabbahatu bil fi'l. Huruf means is the plural of harf. Harf is one letter. Huruf, many letters, or we can say particles in this case. Okay? Mushabbaha. You know, we say that Hazrat Ali Akbar is the shabih of the Holy Prophet, meaning the Hazrat Ali Akbar, he had resemblance with the Prophet. So we say that these particles resemble, they have a resemblance, particles that resemble. So that word shabih actually comes from mushabbaha, meaning to resemble, bil fi'l, with verbs. Okay? So these inna wa akhawatuha, they are not actually verbs themselves, but they are sort of particles which resemble the verbs, and of course also known as nasib, emphasizing preposition coming before mubtada and a khabar. Right, now we will be moving on to these particles, explaining what they mean and giving examples, right? So the first one we have is inna. You all know what inna means. We've come across this word in the Quran many, many times. It means certainly, or it means indeed, or it could mean verily, right? Indeed, certainly, verily, emphasizing that this is true. Indeed, it is true. Okay? Now, an example of this could be of a sentence. We could have Inna Allaha alimun. Meaning certainly, or indeed, or verily, Allah is alimun. Allah is all knowing. Now I want you all to jot down this sentence, Inna Allaha alimun. Now we are going to do a sentence analysis on this, okay? So I want you to jot down Inna Allaha alimun, okay? Meaning, verily Allah is all-knowing. Okay, so we are going to have a sentence analysis. Okay, since now we are moving more advanced. So we have the sentence, Inna Allaha alimun. Okay, so we have three particles, three words in this sentence. The first word we have Inna, Allah, Alim. Okay, so Inna, it is of course a nasib, right? That comes a nasib, emphasizing preposition that comes before a mubtada and a khabar. So Inna, below here you write al-harfu المشبه بالفعل. Okay, so Inna is al-harful mushabbaha bil fi'l, meaning Inna is the letter that resembles with the verb. So that is Inna, right? Then we go to Allah. Allah is the subject of the sentence. Allah is the mubtada, or I can say it is the ism of the sentence, the subject. So here I will write, this is ism of what? This is the subject of Inna. Okay, so this is ism Inna, meaning this is the subject of Inna, right? Because it comes after Inna. Without Inna, if I don't have Inna, this is just ism. Okay, if this is not there, this will just be ism. But if this is added, this changes to ism Inna, and also it changes in the sign. We will be looking at changes in the sign. Then we have Alimun. Okay, I'm just a bit rough here because I don't have enough space. I hope you're jotting them down neatly. So we have Alimun. Okay, Alimun is the khabar. It is the predicate of the sentence. It's giving me information about Allah. It's telling me Allah is what? Allah is all-knowing, right? So here I will write, this is called khabar Inna. Okay, so the first word we have is al-harful mushabbaha bil fi'l, that is my Inna. Allah is ism Inna, and Alimun is khabar Inna. So I'm going to give you the rest of the sisters with their meanings, and for the rest of the sentences you will do sentence analysis like this on your own. Identify the harful mushabbaha bil fi'l, the mubtada Inna, and of course the khabar Inna. So the first particle that we talked of was Inna. Now the second particle that we will be talking about is Anna. Okay, don't confuse. That was Inna, this is Anna, don't confuse. Alright, now this means certainly, or verily, or that. Okay, so I can say علمت أن الامتحان قريب. Okay, علمت أن علمت أن الامتحان القريب. Right? علمت أن الامتحان قريب. Now, if you were paying attention, you will have a question. You will ask me, okay, now you said that Inna and her sisters, all of them will come before the mubtada and it will come before the khabar. But this is not the case here. With Anna, it has come at the middle of the sentence, right? If you were paying attention, you would have noticed that Anna has not come at the beginning. It has come at the middle of the sentence, not like Inna, right? So this is one of the difference between Anna and Inna. Inna comes at the beginning of the sentence, before the mubtada and the khabar. Anna comes in the middle of the sentence. So I have علمت أن الامتحان قريب, meaning that I knew that meaning Anna, I knew that the exam was near. Okay, so this is the translation. I knew that the exam was near, right? So we have أن الامتحان قريب, right? Now you will have to do a sentence analysis just like I did with the first example. Identify حرف المشبه بالفعل, then identify the ism. Now here it will be not ism inna, here it will be ism of Anna, and of course the khabar of Anna, right? Now the next sister we have is كأن. كأن means as if, okay, or like. Okay, we can say كأن البيت جديد. Okay, كأن البيت جديد, meaning it is as if what? It is as if the house was new. Okay, it is as if the house, is new. It is as if the house is new. Now you note again, كأن has come at the beginning of the sentence. All of them, all sisters will come before the mubtada and before the khabar, except with the exception of Anna. Anna mostly appears in the middle of sentences. However, this here, كأن, will come at the beginning of the sentence. Again, you can do your sentence analysis, identify the حرف المشبه بالفعل, identify the what you call now ism كأن, and then identify your khabar كأن, right? Then next we have is later. Later means I wish, or if only, right? So I can say ليت الشباب عائدون. ليت الشباب عائدون, meaning I wish youth returned. I wish youth would return. Okay, so that's the meaning of the sentence. ليت الشباب عائد, I wish youth would return. Shabab means youth, عائد meaning to return, and later is the حرف المشبه بالفعل, meaning I wish, or if only youth would return. Now we'll move on to our last sister, and I'll be giving you an example, and then we will be looking at, there's something I want you to note about the mubtada and the khabar. So we have here la'alla. La'alla means maybe, okay, or hopefully, or perhaps. Okay, so we have لعل الامتحان سهل. لعل الامتحان سهل. You know, when you have exams, the stress, the pressure, you just wish, maybe, hopefully, the exam will be easy, right? So, you know, when you have stress for exam, okay, now tomorrow is the exam, I just hope it goes well, you will say, لعل الامتحان سهل. Hopefully, the exam will be easy. سهل. Okay, سهل means easy. So, that is the translation of the sentence. Again, you will have to identify حرف المشبه بالفعل, the mubtada of لعل, the ism لعل, and of course the khabar of لعل. So these were our sisters. Now there is something that I want you all to take note of. Now you will notice that in all sentences that have the word, that either have any one of inna and her sisters, could be inna, could be ka'anna. Look at all the examples that I have given you. Notice that there is a trend. What is the trend? Trend being that the mubtada, that is the ism, always will have, not only the ism, sorry, the ism inna or the ism la'alla or the ism ka'anna, okay, will always have an accusative sign. Always will have an accusative sign, right? We looked at other examples. What did we have? We also had inna allaha. Let me jot that down. Inna allaha alimun, right? So again, what is the mubtada of my sentence? The mubtada inna, the ism inna of my sentence is Allah. Notice that the ism inna here again has a fatha. Let's look at another example. We said كأن البيت جديد. كأن البيت. Okay, now كأن البيت جديد. What is my ism كأن? My ism كأن is the house. And what do I say about the house? Of course, the house appears as if it's new, right? And again, has an accusative. So I want you to notice this trend, this similarity, that whenever you have any one of the inna wa akhawatuha in a sentence appearing at the beginning or in the middle, in the case of anna, this ism inna or ism ka'anna or ism la'alla will have an accusative sign. لعل الامتحان إن الله كأن البيت. Okay, and the khabar will remain the same. This no change. Okay, so the khabar will have no change. But for example, if I want to construct a sentence without using inna and her sisters, now look at this. كأن البيت جديد. I want to remove, say I remove this ka'anna. This will change. This, instead of baita, it will become baytu. Normal. Okay, because we know that all subjects in a sentence, most subjects will have a nominative. Remember when we were doing the structure of sentences, verb, subject, object. Subject carrying the doer, or the subject has a nominative. See, I have removed the ka'anna. Now it is only the house is new. This is the translation. Al-baytu jadidun, the house is new. Okay? Now if I add ka'anna, if I add ka'anna, this will change from al-baytu, it becomes al-bayta. And this, no change, remains the same. So this will have no change, it will remain the same. Okay? So ka'anna al-bayta jadidun, it is as if the house is new. But al-baytu jadidun, without ka'anna, the house is new. Okay? Same with this. Okay? If I remove inna, okay? So I will have this Allah will change here into Allahu. So my sentence will be Allahu alimun, Allah is all knowing, right? But if I add inna, this nominative will change into accusative. So it becomes Inna Allaha alimun, surely, certainly, verily, indeed, Allah is all knowing. This, no change. No change, it remains the same. Okay, just like a catalyst remains the same after the end of a chemical reaction, the same way this khabar remains the same. Just make it look like a catalyst, remains the same even after the end of the reaction, even after adding this inna, it remains the same. But I want you to compare this inna wa akhawatuha. I want you to compare this with kana wa akhawatuha. I hope you remember kana. Okay? Now just leave aside inna for a while. Okay? Open your kana's memory. Kana wa akhawatuha. I just want you to compare so that you don't get confused between the two. Okay? Now we had said example of kana. Say kana. Kana al-babu maftuhan. We had said kana al-babu maftuhan. Now notice the subject here in kana, forget about inna for a while. In kana, the subject here has a nominative case and the khabar changes. So when it comes to kana, the subject remains the same. When it comes to kana here, al-babu is the catalyst of my reaction. Even after adding kana, it remains the same until the end of the reaction. So this here, al-babu, is my catalyst. It will not change. Okay? So al-babu remains the same. This is the one which will change. Okay? But now if I remove this, okay? Say I remove this, okay, and I write my sentence again. It will be al-babu maftuhun. Okay, so my former sentence was al-babu maftuhun. Notice, dear viewers, notice the signs. Al-babu, and after I changed, same. Al-babu, same, no change. But look at this word, maftuhun, and after adding kana, it has become maftuhan. Okay, so when it comes to kana, the khabar is the one that will change. The ism is the one that will not change. It will remain the same. Okay. Now say I was, let's say I use, instead of kana, say I use inna. Okay, so we have kana. Kana al-babu maftuhan. But what if I want to say, verily the door is open? Of course, it does not make sense grammatically, but it's just an example. Say I use inna. Okay, so I'm testifying now that verily the door is open. Inna. So here, you will notice that it is baba. When it's inna wa akhawatuha, the subject will have an accusative. When it is kana wa akhawatuha, the subject will not change, it will remain the same, nominative. So look at the differences. So inna al-baba maftuhun. Inna al-baba maftuhun, meaning verily the door is open. Now look at this. Maftuhun, this sign here, and look at this. There is a huge difference between this sentence and this sentence. So you should apply the ruling. Kana will be this, and of course for inna will be the one that will change will be the ism, right? Now there is something I want you to note. So I hope you have now clearly understood the difference between when I add kana, when I add inna. So now the doubt is clear. Right. So something important to note, the difference between inna and anna. Difference between inna and anna. So what is the difference between the two? The first difference, I had said it earlier if you were paying attention, and I'm not going to repeat. Note down the first difference on your own. I'm not going to repeat the first difference because I had talked about this. The second one is sometimes inna, okay, it will appear at the beginning. So this fill, it will sometimes appear at the beginning, okay? Now in what cases will, sorry, not inna, anna. Inna, sorry, at the middle. Sometimes it gets a bit confusing. Right, now sometimes inna appears at the middle of the sentence. We had said what? We had said in most cases inna appears at the beginning. For example, inna Allaha alimun, okay? It appears at the beginning. Inna Allaha ala kulli shay'in. Continue. Okay, so inna mostly appears at the beginning, but in some cases it appears at the middle. Now when does it appear at the middle? It appears at the middle when it's preceded by a word, when it is preceded by a word that has root letters, okay? Having root letters, okay? So for example, we have يقول, this is in Surah Al-Baqarah. يقول إنها بقرة صفراء. The verse goes on and on. Okay, so the sentence here is, okay, this is inna at middle. So the sentence is إنها يقول إنها بقرة صفراء. Okay, so يقول إنها بقرة صفراء. Now we said inna mostly appears at the beginning, but in this case it will appear at the middle. Why? Because it comes after a word that has root letters. Remember when we were doing about fi'lul madhi, fi'lul mudari? Now you tell me. يقول. يقول is which tense? Is it present tense? Is it fi'lul mudari? Is it fi'lul amr, fi'lul nahyu, fi'lul madhi? Which tense is it? يقول is fi'lul mudari. It is present tense, right? Now this يقول has root letters. What are the root letters of يقول? Qaf, waw, and lam. So these are the root letters of يقول. If I say يكتب, for example, if I say يكتب, it's again what you call فعل المضارع, it's present tense, he writes, okay? So what is the root letters? The root letters for this are kaf, ta, and finally ba. So these type of words, they have root letters, kaf, ta, ba, these are my root letters. And for يقول, my root letters are qaf, waw, lam, from this word يقول. So in such a case, whenever inna, you see my inna is there. So whenever my inna comes after what you call it, whenever it's preceded by this kind of word that has root letters like qaf, waw, lam, it will appear at the middle. It will not come here at the beginning. I cannot say innaha yaqulu. It will not make sense. It will be yaqulu innaha baqaratun safra'u, meaning he says it is a yellow cow. And remember when I said that this ha, remember when we were doing about the pronominal suffix, and then we discussed about the two types of the suffix, right? We said ha is amongst, of course, the dependable, the one that is dependent, okay, that is joint. Remember when we were discussing about the suffix, it is joint, we call it the muttasila. So this one here, ha, I said sometimes it can be used for her. For example, I can say saburatuha, meaning her blackboard. But remember I said depending on the context of the verse or the context of the sentence, what is the sentence referring to? So sometimes ha could be referring to her, like qalamuha, her pen. But sometimes it refers to it. Now here this ha refers to what? It's referring to the cow. It is talking about the baqaratun innaha. It says, he says, yaqulu, he says, innaha baqaratun, it is. What is that it? Ha in the sentence, what is it referring to? It is referring to the baqaratun. The it is referring to the cow. He says, okay, that the cow is yellow, right? Or he says it is a yellow cow, right? So that is, in such cases, whenever you notice that you have such words which have root letters, then of course inna will be appearing at the middle of the sentence, okay? So I hope you have understood the differences between inna wa akhawatuha and kana wa akhawatuha. You can now identify what is the ism kana, or what is the ism la'alla, or what is the khabar kana, or what is the khabar la'alla. You can identify them. You know now what do they mean. If I ask you, okay, identify the harful mushabbaha bil fi'l, you can also do that. You can analyze the whole sentence, translate it, okay? And of course, you know now in what case inna comes at the beginning, in what case inna comes at the end, in what case of course, same with anna. You know where anna is placed, at the beginning or at the end. So if you come across such sentences, mostly you will come across in the Quran. Even this sentence, it is from the Quran. يَقُولُ إِنَّهَا بَقَرَةٌ سَفْرَاءُ. Okay, you will come across this in chapter 2 of the Quran, Surah Al-Baqarah. You will come across many sentences with inna, innaha, innahu, anna. So don't get confused. Try and reflect on those verses from the Quran. Pick verses from the Quran using the words inna or anna, okay, or innaha, innahu, and try and look at the trend. What is the, okay, now I have picked a verse from the Quran, okay, now I focus, right? So where is this going to fit in? Okay, innaha, is it at the beginning? Okay, no, it's at the middle. Okay, now what is its mubtada? Okay, fine. What is its khabar? Okay, now I can understand the Quran. Now I can translate it. Now I know what the Quran is actually trying to tell me. So try and reflect the Quran using your knowledge of Arabic grammar. Kana wa akhwatuha, inna wa akhwatuha, wa akhira da'wana, and alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Thanks for listening and have a nice day.